Welcome to another episode of Empties. So my name is Karen Kennedy. I'm a functional nutritionist specializing in metabolic health and optimizing blood sugar. And I've got some products that I went through the past couple of months, and I want to go through them and review them for you. So I've got two supplements. I've got two supplements I love and one that I don't, plus some milk. So let's start with milk, because who reviews milk? This is more of a, I want you to know what this is. So you might have seen this A2 milk in the grocery store. I noticed that over our last snowpocalypse, all the organic milk was out. You couldn't get any of it, but they still had this A2. Nobody was getting it because I think they don't know what it is. So what this is, and I don't buy it all the time, not necessarily promoting it or not promoting it. So A2 refers to the form of casein. So milk has three macronutrients. It has fat, it has sugar, which is lactose, and it has protein. So casein is one of the main proteins. And depending on the type of cow it comes from, you can have A1 protein, which is the most common of commercial dairies like Holsteins. And then you have A2 protein. And I think A2 protein is more common in like Guernsey cows. So a cow will have genetic variation. It'll be A1 homozygous or A1A2 heterozygous or A2A2. And I think that's how it works. And I think you're looking for A2A2 casein. So the difference is that some research has shown that the A1 casein is more inflammatory than the A2 casein. And some people who get a lot of inflammation with dairy do better with A2. So that's what A2 milk is, plain and simple. Different type of casein, less inflammatory, probably. All right, so two supplements I like or one supplement I didn't like. Let me do the ones that I did like because I think they're really worth talking about. This is the first one I did. It's Metagenics. Ooh, can I come back? I have too much light on this. SPM Active is what it is. I'm trying to get good light. There it is, Metagenics SPM Active. So what this is, let me read this to you. It's an omega-3 fatty acid supplement on steroids. So it's a really high level one. And what it's, let me see if I can read what it has in here. It's written too small, DHA, EPA, but the version of the essential fatty acids in here are in a form that is especially good at reducing inflammation. So like if you're somebody who has a lot of inflammation, joint pain and whatnot, and you're trying to reduce it, taking fish oil and it's not working, this might be something for you. Now, particularly if people have, like sometimes I do genetic testing, I'll use 3x4 genetics with my patients. It's a $299 genetics test and really worth it. We see some people like myself are really prone to inflammation because of their genetics. And then I know it. I mean, we all know it if we are. If a genetic variation with like FOXO3, where you're more prone to inflammation and you don't resolve inflammation very well, resolve that inflammatory process. So I've been using these and I noticed I often will judge how many hot flashes I get by things. So I stopped using my castor oil packs that really help resolve my hot flashes. These help resolve my hot flashes, which is great. And I did them over Christmas time when I was eating copious amounts of sugar. So I think that was a variable, but I like these. I like this product and I'm recommending them more often to clients. So SPM Active by Metagenics. A few other companies make this too. I'm reviewing this one, which is Carlson's D3K2. Now, there are other companies that make a D3K2 combination that are also good. I like this one. It's a 2,000 IU dose of D3 and with K2. Now, you might not have heard of K2, like vitamin K is in dark leafy greens, that's K1. It's involved in the clotting cascade. This K2 is more of a hormone that's involved in a couple of different things, but what we're using it with, if you have a lot of vitamin D and calcium, so everyone's supplementing with these huge doses of calcium and vitamin D, if you don't have enough K2, you're not going to be able to support the enzyme that helps take that calcium and put it in your bones. What you get sometimes, if you don't have that, is more calcium deposits in soft tissues like arteries. So you create this hard plaque in your arteries, or like you've heard about the calcium score, your calcium score, how many hard plaques you have in your blood vessels. So that could be related to K2. So if you don't get enough K2 in your diet, which most of us don't, then you might, when you're taking a D3, I always recommend people just get a D3 K2 together. I like Carlson's, it's less expensive. You can get all this on my Full Script account, but there's other forms of it. So this is a great one to take. And of course, when you're doing vitamin D supplementation, test. And again, I've got a good home test from Omega Quant that you can do, a blood spot test, or you can check your D3 multiple times a year to see if you're getting your levels right. It's nice to have them over 40, over between 50 and 80 is an optimal vitamin D, depending on the person. So those are the two supplements I like. I'm going to show you the supplement I don't like. And this is an old favorite, but I'm not a fan. Emergen-C. And why do I have this? Sometimes I get it in the summertime because my kids like it. Especially when they're sick, this will help them drink more fluids, and I'm not really bothered by it. But this is why I don't like it. I don't like it because it's got a lot of fruit. The first ingredient is fructose. It's got a lot of fructose. I don't want extra fructose. That basically tells my body, store fat in the liver, store fat in the liver. I don't need that. But also, it's got the B vitamins in forms that I don't like. It's the generally cheap forms of the B vitamins, like the cyanobalamin, not a form of B12 that I don't really like. I don't think it's a great product. Could you take it every now and then? Sure. Like if you're going camping and you just want something to flavor water, there's nothing wrong with this. But it's about, are you going to use this every day for hydration? This is not what I would choose for sure. Also having it on hand for your kids because they like it, helps them drink more, like in the summertime or something. That's probably not that big of a deal, but I generally don't love this. So those are my empties. A2 milk, totally fine. Might be a less inflammatory version of milk as opposed to A1. Taking vitamin K with your D3. Carlson's is a nice brand. It's also it's a pretty inexpensive brand of D3 K2. And of course, this is a more expensive supplement, but worth it if you're prone to inflammation. This is the Metagenics SPM Active Pro-Resolving Mediators of fish oil. Just think fish oil on steroids for someone who's prone to inflammation. I would take this 2 a day. See if it doesn't reduce your pain, your joint pain, lower your inflammation, like as tested by how you feel, as tested by your high sensitivity, C-reactive protein, things like this. But I'm a inflammation kind of person. I'm positive for some big time risk factors for cardiovascular disease. So I'm always looking for something that lowers my inflammation, reduces my risk of cardiovascular disease. So in the description, be sure to ask me questions about these. Be sure to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. And thanks for watching.